Ooh, today I'm owning my shit. Okay, guys. Hey guys, it's Latafe. Welcome back to another scary video. If you're new here, hi. I'm not okay, but we're gonna be not okay together. As I always say, always watch this in the dark because it does not make sense to watch this with light. So, and there's always somebody behind you or under you. So just check, just to be sure. There's probably somebody with you right now that you don't even know. But today we're gonna be reading some scary stories on New Year's Eve. Well, I'm at work and I have COVID, okay? So I was thinking the other day because I go to the store and I'm not even wearing a mask and I have COVID and I feel guilty because I was telling my boyfriend and I was like, it feels so illegal to be out in public with COVID. So you're gonna see a bunch of fireworks around me. Let me flip the camera. I thought I would have the extra wide lens so that way you can see the background when the fireworks are around me. They're more on that side, but I don't want to go to that side. So we're gonna go ahead and read some scary stories. And I don't know, I miss doing this, and I feel awkward because there's gonna be fireworks. Hopefully, they're not overpowering the audio too much. I'm gonna be outside because it's kind of like betterish lighting and I don't want to be in my car. So I'm just gonna read a few stories, and you guys go ahead and let me know if you had a similar experience to one of these or your thoughts on these stories. So we're gonna go with story number one, and it's gonna be from anonymous person. So yes, I kind of feel weird because one, I'm recording in front of people. Well, there's not a lot of people here, but randomly they'll drive around. There's like two people, and I feel very awkward. I'm not gonna lie. But it's New Year's Eve and I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna go ahead and do a video for you guys because this is more important, and I love you guys. And this is from an anonymous person. It says, I know for a fact that I'm being worked on by someone. I believe that someone is my ex-boyfriend's mom. She's the only one that comes to mind. When I was dating him, she would go to this lady every Friday and she would pay this lady to light some black prepared candles for her. I know this because she would ask me or him to look at the way the candles were melting, and she always thought it was someone after her. Every time I would spend the night or weekend over their place and I would get out of the shower and brush my hair, she insisted of either doing it for me or but with her brush, or get my brush after I used to supposedly clean it. Her excuse was that she always wanted a daughter to brush her hair. I thought it was just strange, but I let myself. It wasn't until my sister said she's probably getting my hair and doing brujeria on me. A little backstory: she hated the fact that I wanted for me and my boyfriend to move out of her house and into our own apartment. She hated how I would always take him away from her on a weekend to go out of town with my family. She would always make comments about me stealing her son away from her. Mind you, he's 30 and I'm 26. It wasn't long before we broke up that we would just argue or be mad at each other for no reason. There was times where I felt like I just didn't want to see him or talk to him for days. Started to realize that every weekend after she would go see this lady that that, that does trabajo, she would act strange. Then a few days would pass and he would act like he didn't know what I was talking about. Our last argument we had was the apartment. She had made a huge deal that I was stealing him from her and changing their relationship, and took it overboard by saying I'm trying to get rid of her. We all argued and I decided to break off our relationship that moment. Days later I wake up and I go outside my apartment to find a bunch of dark dirt sprinkled around my doormat. I got the broom and swept it off. The next few days passed and I see a small Ziploc bag wrapped around and twined in one of my new pots. I grabbed it and threw it away at the nearest dumpster in my complex. I've seen some type of powder on my truck steps. No lie, it's constant stuff every few days. I know it's targeted to me. It's becoming really annoying actually. I don't believe her brujeria will harm me because my God is bigger and he protects me always. It's just annoying having to clean up after her mess. She needs to leave me alone. You think it would be my ex-boyfriend annoying me, but I know it's her. I already ordered some cameras to try and catch her doing this. Damn, that's fucking creepy. Like, for like moms to be that obsessed about their kids, they need to understand whenever they're like, oh my God, I'm super protective over my kid. They need to understand that they were that age too. Like, they had to let go and move on with their own life. I don't know, that's just so fucking nasty and creepy. Thank God you broke up with him. Like, I just felt like if you would have stayed with him, he would have just been ignorant and naive because that's his mom. Of course, he's not gonna want to cut off his mom, but still, like, it's fucking weird. But anyways, on to the next story. Okay, so this is a short one. This is from an anonymous person. It says, "My child sees spirits."
Okay.
But if my kid told me that shit, like, I don't know, honestly, I don't know what I would tell him. It's either I'm thinking half the, like 50% of me is thinking that he has like schizophrenia, and then 50% of me thinks that he has like his third eye open. And it says, "My child sees spirits. Everywhere we go, there happens to be something he sees and I don't. He can go full details on what he sees. Sometimes I don't want to hear it because it can be late at night and he's telling me someone is passing by looking at us from the hallway. He's 6 years old and he even tells me how some of those spirits died. One recent one he told me was that he sees an old lady sitting on an empty chair at my dad's doctor's office. The chair was obviously empty. He was telling me how she was dressed and she was sad because the doctor told her she was very sick. He was saying this at my dad's oncologist office. He had no idea what kind of doctor's office we were at, but what he said made sense. Since he was a baby, he would look up at something and he would smile, laugh, or try to reach out. We prevented him from reaching out, but he would always see something. You gotta be careful because if that little boy chooses the wrong path in life, he's gonna attract a lot of shit. That's not good." I hope you guys can see at least a little bit of the fireworks because that's my intention with recording right now. The good thing is that right now it's really not that cold. It's a very, very depressing New Year's because I got COVID and we don't really fuck with a lot of families, so it's not really like a family big picture. Okay, so this is from an anonymous person. Oh my god, the first sentence, bro. The first sentence is, "I do brujeria." It's been taught to me from my great grandma, and mom. They owned a puesto in Mexico where they used to sell velas preparadas and other items back in their time. They never had good intentions when it came to brujeria. My mom does it too. She can do both good and bad, along with me and now my 20-year-old daughter who's learning. We live in Nuevo Laredo now. You can say that this is our source of income and it has been for 14 years for me. My post is about the intentions of people. I get about 5 new customers a day plus the ones that come back for more. The most common trabajos I do are to make people fall in love. It's the most simplest one. My work is combined with my mother's work, meaning I do my part and then she does hers. It can last up to 7 days for them to see results, and our work is usually 80% effective. The other 20% is if I have to go against someone else's work. Example being the person that I'm working on is being worked on by someone else. I've read stories on here that people describe they might be experiencing brujeria, and they're correct. One way to find out is if things unexpectedly happen and very constant. What they experience is exactly what we want you to feel. Our intentions are put into the work. For example, if we're trying to have someone fail in life, best believe they will. If we want someone to feel sick all the time, we can make it happen. Slowly, they don't suspect, but it happens. Many will say, "What I do is bad," and yes, I agree. And this is what I've been taught growing up. I grew up seeing my great grandma and grandma do all sorts of stuff. Yes, I protect myself and my family, and I pray to I'm not gonna say her name, but this very scary thing that people pray to. She's the only one who has given me everything I need and want. I know a lot of people are afraid of her or fear she's evil, but she's not. I just wanted to share this to the page. One thing I'm gonna say about it, okay, whatever you do, like if that's your money maker, like do whatever the fuck. But I hate when people say this is the only thing I know because it was taught to me while I was growing up. I'm like, that's bullshit, because there are things that people have done differently because they were taught a certain way. Like, she obviously knows that she's doing something bad, knows that people think that it's bad, and she's still doing it, and her excuse is because she was taught that at a very young age. Okay, yes, that was something that she was used to, but she could have changed her ways. Like, it's not like she was forced until she was an adult. Like, she grew up and she could have decided to do something else, but I don't know, she scares me. People like that scare me because you don't want to get on their bad side. And if you see this, like, I'm not trying to be on your bad side. I'm just saying, like, you could change your ways. If you really don't like what you're doing, there's a lot of other things. Or you can be a curandera, like, just do healing things. You don't necessarily have to do things like dark magic. Everybody's doing a bunch of fireworks right now, and I'm kind of nervous. I shouldn't even be outside because people are going to be shooting and a bullet can land on my head. Let's see. This is also from an anonymous person, and it's a short one. It says, about a week ago, I picked up my mother-in-law from work, and she told me to stop at the stop sign and check if her friend got the bus already. She said, dale despacio a ver si ya puso el voz que ya tienen más de una hora que salieron. I was almost to the bus stop when we can see two pairs of feet through the bus stop thing. I replied and told her, ah, sí, ahí están. She said, I don't know how to say that. Ahorriate, ahorriate, a ver si gustan un ride. When we got to the stop, there was no one there. Literally not one person at the bus stop. My nephew, mother-in-law, and I were super creeped out because it clearly looked like someone was sitting there. It's the bus stop on Foster Avenue and Papa Street. That's fucking weird. So I've noticed that a lot of the stories recently are of like witchcraft and stuff. So this is also from an anonymous person. This is a short one. This is from an anonymous person. That just made me nervous. Anonymous. Back in the 90s, I lived in Laredo and I had a friend that lived in some condos on Calle de Norte, somewhere past Mall de Norte is what I remember. Anyway, her downstairs neighbor reported her that she would make a lot of noise between 1 and 4 a.m. They said it was so bad it would make her ceiling fans shake. My friend was an RN and worked nights, which means there was no one home at that hour. And she would start hearing cabinets opening and closing, dishes breaking, and she would get up and check and there was nothing broken. One morning when she got home from work, she found her furniture rearranged. She decided to break her lease. We never found out what happened there.
Yeah.
That is very unsettling. This is from an anonymous person. I have a story that may sound unrealistic to many, but I swear it happened to me back in 1997. I was 13 years old. I would always ride my bike. In the evenings. I used to live out on the Highway 359, literally in the middle of nowhere. I remember riding my bike on the dirt road that led to the highway and back to the house. But that evening, I decided to bike in the woods. I knew there was an old abandoned shed far in because maybe about 10 minutes in, because my dad would say that the back area belonged to the ranch of some people that no longer exist, something like that. So I headed that way on my bike, of course. The sun was already going down, but it was still light out enough to see. 10 minutes into riding the monte, I got to the shed and I heard noises inside. Right away I thought it was an animal. A bunch of mesquite trees grew around it, covering the entrance of the shed, and it had no door to it. It was slanted, almost falling off to the side. I picked up some rocks and threw them inside to see if an animal would come out. As soon as I did that, the noise stopped, and the noise stopped. I got more near, maybe like 7 feet, and I'm moving a bit closer to see what happens. To see what seems to be a little 2-foot person. Ooh, all ashy gray skin peeked out from the bottom. It was grinning at me with a sharp little teeth, and it moved back inside the shed. I backed up and back my way back home. I was terrified. I cried to my parents about what I saw, and being in a Mexican household, my parents punished me for going that far. The next day I was telling my grandma what I saw, and she told me it could have been a duende that lives there. So years passed. We moved, and a few days ago I read the story on here about a duende. I remembered my experience and I sent it to my mom. Little did I know, my mom tells me that on that night I told them what I saw, my dad and uncle went to that area to see the shed and tried looking to see what I saw. They had tools with them. They cut off the mosquitoes and looked inside the shed with their flashlight, and they saw stuff. There were small animal bones scattered everywhere as if something was eating them. It smelled like a dead animal. There was all sorts of jewelry already covered in dirt, some clothes, a picture of a family, and other small items. Everything was almost covered in dirt and seemed it'd been there for years. My uncle pushed the shed, knocking it down. They went back home and told my mom. My mom told me not to say what they saw, but they knew what I said was true. They believed there was a duende who lived there. The stuff that was in there were probably items it took from different nearby houses. Even though we were in the middle of nowhere, there was a few houses scattered around. My family's house was a good 20-minute walk. First of all, fuck duendes. I think I experienced a shapeshifter. This was back in 1985. This was back in 1985. I lived on Main Avenue in Laredo. We had a carport right in front of the house, and I remember washing dishes and looking out my kitchen window that was open. It was winter, so we had the windows opened. My car was parked in the carport, so that was my only view as I washed the dishes. My 3-year-old was napping in the couch at the time. I had looked up and out the window, and I saw and heard a little girl giggling and running behind my car. It was around 1 p.m., pure daylight. I saw her very clear. I stopped what I was doing and I ran outside, thinking it was my daughter, but she was still on the couch sleeping. Since it wasn't my daughter, it might have been someone else's child who ran off and is lost. I went outside calling out little girl, and as I ended up in the back of the car, I see a very long black cat stretching. The cat was almost the size of 3 cats combined. As I'm freaking out, seeing this strange long cat running to my front yard, and it's shrinking to a regular sized cat in front of my eyes, I'm thinking if it was shape shifting. What the?
That is fucking weird. Ew. I would have stepped on that cat.
Okay, this is the last one because this is a fucking duende and I really don't like duendes. So, okay, so hi, I would like to get some insight or advice or just some overall dream knowledge of the LPS community. LPS is the Laredo Paranormal Stories. So this one is called Duende Dream. I had a dream last night about a duende. I have already had this exact dream some time ago, but didn't think much of it. In my dream was just me, my mom, and my little sister. We were at a park playing when all of a sudden my sister goes missing. We looked everywhere. Damn, people must have spent a lot of money because people have been popping fireworks since like early as fuck. So I just know that fireworks have been very, very expensive. So we looked everywhere and somehow ended back in the house. Nothing like the house we currently live in. I was now alone in that house. I turned and I see this duende-like creature laughing, putting on a mask. When the duende turned to look at me, I saw that he had put on my sister's face on. I ran towards him, trying to pull off the mask. I was now on top of it in the couch with my sister on the side, crying. I was biting this duende's face and still trying to take my sister's face off, but every time I would bite and pull her, I would laugh and my sister would scream and cry. I managed to pull off the mask and his face was hot red like it had been melted or something. He just stood there laughing in such a sinister way. I woke up sweating and haven't been able to stop thinking about it, especially because I already had this exact dream. I just want some input, or if you know what this could possibly mean, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know what those dreams mean, but I just know that that is. Hey guys, happy new year. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any like similar experiences or anything like that. Can't believe I have literally a week with COVID. The last time I had COVID, it was literally like 5 days positive. I don't even know. So yes, I do have a lot more content coming soon. I think I'm thinking of doing a vlog channel now. I'm always thinking of doing something and I never fucking do it. Okay, but I probably will. If anything, I'm just gonna stop announcing what I wanna do and I'll just fucking do it. But my lips look a lot more better. Like, they're not that bad. The last time they were looking hella bad. If you have any stories, please share them. I'm gonna be doing a video soon of sharing all of y'all's stories. And yeah, stay safe. Happy New Year. I love you guys. But yeah, bye.